Okay, so this apparently will be Alen Babic's next opponent. They're said to be facing off for the WBC Bridgerweight world title. His name is Lukasz Rozanski. He's from Poland. And I believe his promoters won the purse bid for this fight. So the fight will be taking place in Poland. Now, BoxRec haven't yet listed it on their website, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. Obviously, BoxRec isn't always 100% up to date. Sometimes they list fights that don't end up happening. Sometimes they're late to list fights, etc., etc. I've spoken about that many times in the past. But whatever the case may be, they haven't yet listed it here. It's an interesting fight because both guys are so similar. Both listed at 6'1", similar reach, both crude brawlers. Really, Babic, we know what he's all about. Comes forward swinging, doesn't really take too much care defensively. He's been down in his career now. And Rozanski, something similar. He's not quite as wild as Alen Babic. His punches aren't as wide, but he is pretty reckless when he comes forward, in a similar kind of way. So, for example, he knocked out his countryman Artur Spilka, and Spilka has seen better days, right? He knocked out his countryman Artur Spilka in his last fight. That was in 2021, so there's some inactivity there for him. But he was actually dropped himself in that fight. And who does Artur Spilka ever drop? Right? But he dropped Rozanski, and that was a legit knockdown. Left hand from Spilka that put him on the seat of his pants. So, yeah, he's very hittable. He is, it would seem, vulnerable when it comes to punch resistance. Not like he has a poor chin. A lot of the time, it's not just to do with how hard the shots are, but also how clean they connect, how well you get hit, how flush you get hit. And he's one of these kind of guys who does tend to get hit pretty flush. Certainly did by the Artur Spilka left hand in the first round. But you look at his record, he fought Izu Agono. That's one of his better wins. He stopped Agono in 4 rounds. Some of you may remember that Agono had a tremendous slugfest with Dominic Brazil several years ago. Brazil gave Agono his first professional loss, but that was a tremendous slugfest. If that's still on YouTube, you might want to just go watch that. If you're bored on your lunch break at work or something. that Agono versus Dominic Brazil fight was an absolute cracker. So yeah, he beat Izu Agono back in 2019. Agono is a Nigerian-born Polish fighter. Who else has he got there? Michael Sprott, Albert Sosnowski. So, he's fought a lot of the heavyweights who are still hanging around in the heavyweight scene in Poland, so on and so forth. So, yeah, that's Lukasz Rozanski going up against the savage Alen Babic. I very much look forward to the fight. It's going to be football stadium type atmosphere. I'm not saying it's going to take place in a football stadium, but it's got that very rowdy Polish atmosphere. It should make for an entertaining spectacle. In terms of who I would pick, it really could go either way. Babic has looked very vulnerable of late. He's been down, and some people say that he's an accident waiting to happen just because of the way he approaches fights and how often he leaves himself open. So it's a pick 'em, really. So may the best man win. Babic is a very, at least to me, endearing personality. I like the way he talks and his sense of humor and all that kind of thing. So, maybe I'll be rooting for Babic a little bit, but I can't sit here and tell you that I'm confident he can beat Rozanski, to be honest with you. I think Rozanski's got just as good a chance as Babic has got. So let's see what happens. Give me your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you sick and tired of the mainstream mindset? Does the dogmatic conformity and pathological ignorance have you tearing your hair out in frustration? Then don't be alone. Come and join our brotherhood on Patreon. We stand as a beacon of reason against an army of insanity. You'll gain access to my weekly topical podcast where we take more deep dives than Jacques Cousteau on an endless variety of subjects. There's also videos, interviews, live Q&As, as well as a vast back catalogue of previous episodes, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen via the Patreon app or download in high-quality MP3. Connect with myself and hundreds of other members in our Element chat group. There's no contract, no commitment. You can cancel at any time, and it's cheaper than a Mickey D's McMuffin. Just head to my Patreon page via the link below this video and select the tier called the Brotherhood of Reason. I'll see you over there.